I am so hoping that we can stay in Reading. See, I got my shotgun out. I went next door and I said, "You turn those deer on. They're dead." There are more deer now in our neighborhood. Talk about being lit up. And this is Christmas. But it's really something when you think about having to pull, where are the decorations? I don't know. They're in a box. That's really helpful. And the box is under another box that's someplace we've never been before. We've got to open up that box to get to the other box, and then there'll be instructions. Go to box number 6. It is crazy making. It's crazy making at a time when what we really want to be doing is tuning into that heart space with that part of us that's filled with love. So I'd say do less and have it be all that there is and have it be enough. Tell people, I'm not sending cards this year. Oh, maybe a couple. But don't you love the newsletters that you get? Stuff that you're never going to do, that your friends have done. Kids that you don't want to have, they've had. You can have an entire lifetime of experience just by reading someone else's letter and saying, I can fold this up and put it away. I don't have to have this experience. So we write a traditional newsletter too. We wrote one about Reading, but we can't share it with anybody here because people will throw us out, I know. We talked about the dam that's just below the volcano that hasn't erupted recently in an earthquake zone. Not to worry. Yeah. And we did bring up the people who shop at Walmart and wear their furry slippers. You don't see that in Monterey. But we won't go on about that because we're trying to be optimistic here. Well, the divine right action works on an assumption. And the assumption is that when you get out of the way, something greater than you can occur, and that it will head in the direction you'd like to go. That is, even if you're not fully conscious, when you become more conscious, you'll see that it is in keeping with your best interest. And so when we say, I'd like this to occur as divine right action, or I accept this as divine right action, what we're saying is I'm willing to get out of my own way, and what limited knowing I have is just that. It's limited. 90% of my troubles are not having to do with anything that's ever happened. It's the conclusions that I draw about them. You ever notice that? Oh, I know what that means. No, you don't. You often know what it means in the way that once you've said that, you've declared that it will mean that, and that conversation is now over, and the good that's going to occur is not going to be observable because you're waiting for that which supports your conclusion. Have any of you ever heard about a person you couldn't trust, and then you hung out with them, and it didn't seem like they were the kind of person you couldn't trust. And you kept waiting for them to be the person you knew they were going to be. And so months go on. Did you get together with Joe? I got together with Joe. How's Joe? He's acting perfectly normal. I know he's not trustworthy. Well, how long have you been? 3 months. It's taken him a long time to show his true colors. Anybody ever hear that? And then Joe slips. There he goes. I knew it. So everything that Joe did that wasn't a slip, that's not noticed. It's the slip that we notice. The trouble with conclusions is it helps us feel safe and powerful, but it eclipses our ability to know the truth. And the truth is, I don't know what's next. I have to declare that life is a mystery. I didn't know today how many of you would come. I couldn't know that. But we could calculate based on past numbers. We could calculate based on the weather. If we calculated based on CNN, and you'd all be out picketing right now for a job. But the truth is, I didn't know. And so somebody said to me, wow, quite a few people. I said, I know. What does that mean? I don't know. If you could end everything with I don't know, you'd be available for knowing the next thing that would be necessary or important in your journey. So I would like us all to practice this whole week. I don't know. It's a mystery. Let's see what's next. One of my favorite words to use when someone says, I stubbed my toe, and? What do you mean, and? Well, what happened then? Well, I got up and I walked away, and? Did you have the rest of your life? Well, so far. Great. You see, because often we stop with, I stubbed my toe. Oh my, let's stop right here. Let's just look at life and wonder out loud if it's even a good idea to get out of bed or to go to the bathroom or do anything. Because this is time for us to really take hold of what's going on. You stubbed your toe. How many of you have heard, that's the first thing, that's one. And then you're looking for your jacket. Can't find the jacket, that's two. We love counting. But we don't often count the good stuff. We count not in favor of our good. Going to go to Costco, it'll be full. There'll be no spaces in the parking lot, not one single cart. Well, let's go to Walmart and watch the people with the furry slippers. That's not nice. Don't come here with furry slippers, okay? That's for home. We have some rules. But when you think about, if you could just say and, you're leading yourself to what's next, to what's next, to what's next. And it's really interesting to live into now with not knowing what's next, because when you have it figured out, it's actually pretty boring. The worst thing that can happen is that you watch a really great movie 540 times and don't ever watch a new one. I'm watching it, there's some good parts. Wow, I've memorized all the lines. Okay, are you available or ready for another movie? I don't think so. This one really took a lot out of me. This one has exhausted me. You know how tired I get. Yes, you watch the same old movie every single night, and you wonder why the same old life keeps being lived every day. And God, wouldn't it be nice to be able to retire? Then you could watch the movie more. It's really time to put on another movie where you don't know what the conclusion is going to be. But what I want you to notice when you do that is how quickly your mind tries to figure out who's good, who's bad, and where it's going. And when you really love it, oh, wow, now that was a good movie. Why? I couldn't figure it out. I love when I can't figure it out. We're not watching that movie again. Because I don't feel I'm in control when I can't figure it out. But I love it. There's a real conflict with, we love getting everything right, getting all the answers on Jeopardy, should you be inclined to watch that. We love getting those right and saying, see, wow, I got it. We got huge egos, and the ego is all about self-control or an illusion of control. The ego is all about, I got it figured out. I know what you're like. I know who you are. Based on what? My stories, and my stories are good. I'm a writer. So far, I've written my entire life. It hasn't turned out the way I wanted it to be because I haven't taken full responsibility for allowing in my writing of my life spaces for miracles. What if in the writing of your life, okay, Sunday morning I woke up and an amazing thing happened. P.S. I'll go back and let you know what that was later. Instead, by the time we get up in the morning, we've already gotten to about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay, after church, this is what we're going to do. And then 3 hours before the next hour, when I can do something else I was planning on doing, at the end of the day, you take an inventory of what you've done, and if you're careful and you've done it right, you won't have lived at all. You'll simply have gotten everything done. Yep, I kind of expected it to go that way. Good, next. So the challenge, the real challenge in this season, is to imagine that the Christ consciousness is going to be born sometime during the month. We don't know where. We don't know how. We know it's going to happen someplace in our experience. Now let's keep an eye open for it. Could this be it? Could this be the birth of a consciousness that wants to express itself so divinely that it transforms the world? I can hardly wait to get up. I can hardly wait to see what's next.